Is there a need for accelerators for growth stage companies? A tremendous need. The answer is yes. Why is there that need? So I think you look at the average entrepreneur in India, who started off a venture of his or her own, and they go through this panic mode where they try and put together stuff and get things going in a hurry. Take help on ideation, put something together, see whether it works or not. And, they tend to sometimes struggle from one stage to the next. So, the initial startup where the ideation and the MVP, etc. happen, kind of tends to be haphazard and a bit of a panicky mode at times. People are looking for their first client. But the moment they settle down, technology is settled down, the venture has started, you've got people on board, you've hit some of the markets running, you learn from that. And you learn what your mistakes are, you learn what you do right, what you do wrong. And then, your next stage is, hey, I need to raise my first couple of $1 million to, go up to the next level. Get into bigger markets, get to bigger clients, and you're struggling to find your feet there. So that's the stage where accelerators play a very, very big role. That's the stage where good, high quality acceleration programs play a very large role. I think the Wadhwani Foundation and the work that it's done over the years, starting off right, from the entry level, from the the ideation stage upwards, and I've done a few programs with the foundation, so I've experienced that firsthand. It has been tremendous. I think ventures coming in and getting help on how to get started and then how to grow is important. And what the Wadhwani Foundation has done, I think, in that journey or in that process, is structured the programs very nicely, very easily, and brought in world-class resources, brought in world-class systems and practices, and exposed them to the Indian entrepreneurial or the startup ecosystem. I think that's the mark of a good a program, whether it's at the ideation stage or at a growth stage. And over here we're talking about growth stage. So at the growth stage, when you're there in the market and you need to go to the next level, I think you've got a huge amount of knowledge base, connects, etc. that you can make use of. And so the Wadhwani Foundation has done that. And it's been a tremendous experience, and working with some of those startups and helping them go from one stage to the other. When you look at what's the largest or asset that, the way I look at it is they're no longer startups. The way I look at it is, the startup stage is gone. They are in a stage where they need to make it big and they need to go to the next level. So what is it that a company like that can benefit from a program like the VFT program? You've got a huge array of exposures from both domestic and international markets. There's new technologies that can be looked at. There's the financial benefits of being exposed to a much larger investor base. There's collaboration. So you're on board with a number of other peers who may or may not be in supplementary or complementary businesses who you could collaborate with. There's a lot of ideation in terms of what you could do in terms of expanding your markets. There's best practices. I think, there's a lot of those best practices that you can pick up from others and implement in your business. There's also the opportunity to refine your service delivery to a very, very large level. So one of the things that I've seen or what I've experienced and noticed is startups tend to get into the business. They need to get the clients. They do that. They build the technology. They do it pretty well. But when they're growing, they somewhere forget what it means to deliver the right quality of service or the right service delivery model, which can differentiate them from the rest of the pack. And I think that's where the programs that are being run are currently need to focus on or are focusing, and they're helping those startups get that right service delivery model, because that service delivery model is what can define your revenues. It can define customers, it can define customer bases, it can define the markets you go to. So I think service delivery plays a huge role. That for me would rank pretty high. The ability to pick up the knowledge and the connects to go across borders for me is extremely important, because you've got to make in India and deliver to the rest of the world. And I think for me that is important. And a global foundation like the Wadhwani Foundation can bring that strength and that energy, the connects to the table. Last but not the least, the quality of mentors that you have on board. I think that's a huge asset. Those mentors have been exposed to years and years of working in global organizations or running startups of their own. A lot of them have exited, a lot of them have done extremely well and have a wealth of experience to share. Not just in terms of stories they tell, but also where you're going wrong, what you could do better, and how you could actually end up going into the next level. So I think that's where I would focus on and mention what really this entrepreneurial journey is all about.